dynasty league?
The league itself, so we're live. We're just starting. The league itself is sort of a dynasty. We keep two keepers each year.
Oh, okay.
So if you keep one player twice, the second time you keep them, they're your first round pick. So like I don't know if you pick Pat Mahomes when he was like his second year in like the 10th round or whatever, you can't just keep him there in perpetuity. Speaking of keepers, you think Bracken's going to keep you for his next pick?
I mean, I'm not going to be at any more U.S. National Series races, so he shouldn't.
It would be a bad move for the
Breaking news. Yeah.
So you're not going to do any U.S. anymore. You're not going to do West Virginia?
No. I can't train. My body can't train for a beast. Like new way of life. It just can't train for a beast right now.
And that's fair. So let's kind of start with where you're at. Like you kind of jumped into this sort of at the last second, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I had a goal of getting back to this race, but I didn't really confirm it till I didn't pay it for my race entry for like 3 days beforehand. So I didn't really commit fully to like going until like a week before, basically.
Do we not get free race entries anymore?
We do, but
the insurance.
It's like the fees.
Insurance.
Like you still got to pay. The insurance and the parking and the bags and the mustard that you have to buy. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, because you brought it up to me not long ago. You're like, dude, I'm doing it. Maybe it was after they announced it, and a couple weeks after that, because the announcement wasn't that long ago for this race. And you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to jump in. And I'm feeling healthy. It's like, all right, let's do it. Let's make it happen. So how are you feeling?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? And like and the way that you've kind of approached just like training and racing and from what I understand, when kind of coming back from like the time off that you took from UC, that your mindset has been much more about like appreciating the ability to train and to race, and maybe not necessarily wanting to put so much emphasis on the outcomes that you're taking on in these races. So when you went into the race, how were you feeling about that? Like, did you have any expectation on yourself leading into this thing?
I didn't have any expectation.
Nice.
I was expecting awesome. I was expecting to lose to people that I've never lost to before. And I was going to be okay with that. And I knew going to the race, I'm just going to run out of fitness. I think I said I could be really fit for 20 minutes. And then the next part of the race, the last 3/4 of a race, it's going to be a struggle. And that's exactly how it turned out. So I had to go with much expectation. Even Kirk told me before the race, he's like, it's just doing it. Like, you're good. Like, you're going to be fine. Like, nobody really expects you to be out here. I was like, yeah, I don't. So just finishing it and finishing the way I did, I couldn't be happier.
And ultimately, no one really expects anything out of any of us anyway. You know, it's all what we kind of put on ourselves leading into the races and in terms of pressure. Yeah. So you finished 13th, right?
Yep.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling about that?
I feel pretty good. Like I said to some people in the past, I would never be happy. I think I'm better than 13th at a U.S. National Series, especially at a course like this. Like I know I am, but like I couldn't be upset about it. I mean, I really couldn't, considering the very minimal training I've done, the very short duration I've done, and able to just stick my nose in it and not have any problems with my gut during a race. I can't be upset with the 13th place. Against that field, even the people that people might not have heard of, like a guy like Adam Baylor or a Klink or Jason West. Like, these guys are, they've been doing it for a while. They're in good shape and they want to prove they're in good shape. So to be able to come out on top, like Brent Trail, like people like this, like, you have to still work hard to do that.
Oh yeah. A U.S. National Series race. I mean, any more on the men's side of things, all the way through 20th. You really have to bring it. Like, you're not just gonna accidentally land there without training and things like that. So, you're right. This course probably is pretty good for you, huh? Like it's not incredibly hilly, like some good turnover stuff to help like with that flat finish. That was like that would have been up your alley, you know, in terms of like a kick finish.
If somebody would have ran by, like caught up to me there, I had just nothing. They would have just smoked me. And that would have been really upsetting because that is my kind of thing, but I had nothing left to give that race.
What did you like about the course?
I liked the long downhill for the first mile. That was fun. And it was a very runnable technical course. So you have some courses like that are extremely technical that it's scary to run on. Sometimes I didn't feel that at all here. Rolling hills, nice. The grass wasn't like ridiculous. It was just a good, clean course that like it's for a national series. It's made for speed, but you got to be really fit for it. So I think it just had a lot of good combinations of steep. The climbs were not long, but they were steep, a couple of them, and then you got to have the your legs not get so lactic that because they go straight to the downhill that's steep, or it goes straight to a long straightaway that you got to be able to run. And those in the past have been kind of like my moneymaker courses, like a Seattle almost. Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, I could see how it could be kind of like a Seattle-ish. Like if like Seattle's weird because
if Seattle was more spread out with their rolling. Because it's mostly just at the beginning and the end. Yeah.
Seattle's like two different courses. It's like the woods part and like the flat part. They don't really kind of they don't really kind of intertwine. But this seemed to have done that, right? It kind of just goes from flat. There was like some concrete, right?
Was there? The end, yeah.
Yeah. There's some concrete. I guess there's concrete in Tahoe. I was like, I don't know if I've ever run on concrete at a Spartan race, but I suppose there is. What would you have done? What would you have liked to have seen out of the course?
I don't. You asked me that question before, and it's hard to think what I would have liked to seen more. I honestly, I feel like we didn't get to explore too much out there. I feel like they just kept running around in circles. That's not what the map showed, but that's what I felt like. So maybe that, but. Honestly, I think this is one of the better courses I've ran on. I wouldn't really change anything about it.
You're just an optimistic person. Doesn't matter what the course was. You're like, time. Yeah. I was happy to be out there. Every course that you run from now on, the best course you'll ever see. So that's good. I'm glad that.
My favorite part is favorite part was the first mile. It was all downhill, non-technical running, and I didn't even lead it, and I still zoomed like a 520 with 4 obstacles jumping over walls in there. So
I heard it was like that.
That's probably one of my favorite starts.
Yeah, I think Mark said they clipped like a 510, and 510's fast on the road, and like on a Spartan race, typically, you hear people saying these times. And usually they're not like if on a broadcast or something like, oh, they're running like 5:30s at this point. It's like probably not. But like to have someone clip a 5:10 in the beginning is like, that's pretty freaking fast for a full mile of running.
Yeah.
Did you just stick your nose in it or just kind of get dragged along?
I got dragged along. I didn't move many positions. I was probably like in the 12 to 15 range that first mile still. And I just kind of stuck behind some people. I was like, I'm not going to do the classic lead this race because I'm not going to have the fitness to do it. But I just got dragged along and stayed with some people that I thought I could stick with. And we run my fastest mile that I have since February.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. Congrats on that.
Yeah. PR.
UCPR. It's a whole big old acronym then. Did you feel like you could engage much in terms of a race, or were you really just trying to hang on for dear life and just kind of do your own thing?
It was after the 2 mile marker. It was just hang on. So I turned my ankle pretty good going down this technical downhill right after 2 miles, so that didn't help my case. But like Robert Killian passed me, Ian Hosick passed me. And then I didn't move positions after that till the very end. And it was all like, maybe I can go get my friend Adam Baylor, who was right ahead of me. I was like, maybe I can go chase him down. And then some people were catching up to me, and I was able to like put a move on the carries to like give me some good breathing room. But it was all just in my head, just say, come on, just keep going. But like consistently, I was just getting slower. Which you don't want to do in a race, but yeah, it was like I said, I ran out of fitness.
Were you able to stay present with the race itself, or were you in that headspace sometimes like, oh man, I just can't put in the volume right now needed to do a race like this? Or were you able to be like, hey, let's just stick it out and go?
Definitely both. Like, when the pack, the first pack and the second pack, like just leave you, you're like, I don't have the fitness for this. It's no shocking, but it's like let's stick my nose in it and go as hard as you can, so you have a good baseline that you can compare yourself to the rest of the field. That was kind of my mentality at the end of it. It's like, okay, I know exactly what kind of fitness I'm in now. I knew it wasn't great, but like, I know I can still stick my nose in. I still know I have a pretty good engine to compete. Now it's just getting in shape again.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I could see how that could be a thought, like, and not necessarily something negative, but like you can feel when the fitness is just kind of running dry, right? Like, okay, now I just need to deal with what I have in front of me and just try to push the way to the end.
Yeah.
What was something you felt like you did well with during the race?
It's a sucky feeling when you just
Go ahead.
Doing well. I still think I had some of the best carries. Like, even though I was like, those were at the end of the race, and like I haven't been practicing carries, and I was drained. I still, like, the Strava segments of that day, I still had top 8 in both the sandbag and bucket.
Nice.
So still did well. And then when I was out of gas and people started catching up to me, like, I was still able to have that, okay, I'm afraid to get past mentality and just like put a little surge in, just a little bit of surges. And all my obstacles, I still did well. Like, without doing it for a while, I didn't struggle out of them. I was still slow coming, like, once I would get back to running, but some people, we did like the beater or the twister at the same time, and I finished it before them always. So I still am pretty quick on all the obstacles, it seemed like.
Nice. And that's to be reassuring to know that skill is something that is still kind of hanging around.
Yeah. And the uphill climbs, like, did fine with, this is, I will say, this is probably the best climbing shape I've ever been in. It's just easier on my body to climb. It's not as much pounding. So I've been doing that a lot. And it paid off, just, having a very good solid pace on all the steep climbs.
So is that kind of what you're doing? You're just setting a treadmill and doing climbing on a treadmill in your training?
No, there's some longer hills in Nashville that I just do repeats up and down, but I just take the downhills pretty soft and go hard on the uphills. So, but I haven't been doing it on the treadmill at all.
I saw that video you posted on one of the downhill carries that you were doing. It looked fast.
Yeah.
Was it like
I had to show
2 times speed?
That at least.
Did you have to? Was that like?
No, but it was only like 3 reps, and so I was like, it's only 3 reps. Let's just go as fast as possible.
One thing about, like, as douchey as I feel sometimes I'm bringing out the camera for like the gym or something, it does add an extra bit of accountability to the quality of that rep that I'm about to do. I'm like, all right, like, this is something that I could potentially share.
Yeah.
This thing better rock. So you crush those downhill intervals.
You don't want to show people, like, okay, you are out of shape, but you can fake it a little bit via social media. So that was my idea.
What do you think? Do you look back at this race at all with anything that you think you would have done different in terms of how you may have approached things, or what do you think in reflection of the race?
Yeah, like it's hard for me to go back and say like I should have done this and this because I don't think I don't think I would have caught anybody else. You know, you got to be fit to catch some people, and I'm just not. I'm still just really proud of my effort, just from where I was 3 months ago to where I am now to where I'm looking forward to future races in the later in the year. You know, the National Series race, like these are some of the fittest people in the country, and just to, you know, if the people in front of me, I think they still finished like 90 seconds ahead of me. If I was still in like, if two people in front of me miss their spear, I'm right there knocking on a top 10 door still. So that's pretty cool. You know, it's still, I mean, it was just such a privilege to be back out there. And this dude I love, my dad came out, he rode his motorcycle from Illinois down to North Carolina.
That was sweet.
It was just good to see. Yeah, it's just good to see him back out there to like see him. He was very proud of me, and yeah, like it was like we've talked before. It was like all money in the bank. It was fun to be out there, and I can't be any prouder of myself. I really can't. Just with the minimal training I'm doing, low volume, I still crushed it, I thought.
And I mean, that's all we could really ask for, right? And like that's being process oriented. It's like not even worrying about the outcomes. It's like this is a race you wanted to jump into because it's something that you could do. And you're like, hey, if I can race and I feel like I can jump, I can do it. Like I'm going to try it and see how it goes and just build on that. Not having this like weighted, outcome driven results be
pressure,
part of it. Yeah. And really, dude, like 13th in that field, like looking at the guys ahead of you, it's like I don't think there was anybody there that would be like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy beat Ryker on this day. Right?
Yeah. I felt pretty, like I said, there was a lot of, I don't know if this sounds cocky or not, but like I feel like I was the last name, like a pretty recognizable name in the sport. And so like all those guys did beat me, and I've beat all those guys besides like Atkins and VJ before the race. You know, I beat them all, and they beat me this weekend. But there's people that finished 14th to 25th that on the right day, if they're in shape and somebody else messes up, they are landing themselves in the top 10. So there's still past me. There's a lot of good people that I was still able to beat.
Yeah. And like that, I think you're right. I think like the way it was kind of tiered, right? Like, you know, maybe there's a tier at the very top, you know, where it's like a VJ Atkins, throw Kempson in there or whatever, Woods. And then like a second tier, which is where, I don't know, say from 6th to 13th, I think would be like that second tier of athlete who was in that race in particular. And like, you were still in that tier. It wasn't like you were a full tier below after everything you've gone through and the training that you're doing with this low volume. So you're still like in that same tier. And if it was a different day, like you could have been easily 4 or 5 slots up.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? Yeah.
So we're not worried about outcomes, but
can only be
the outcome
proud.
wasn't too bad. Outcome wasn't too bad.
Yeah. It's a good momentum builder, definitely.
So what is it like now for you in terms of preparation in like wanting to improve, right? Like things are limited for you in terms of how much you can do and like depending on what day it is, how you're feeling each day, like and there's just different factors that didn't used to be there, right? Like there's not necessarily a straight line to be like, I need to get better at flat speed fitness so I can do this and this for this long and I should be able to be there. What does it feel like, or what does it look like for you now in terms of like how you think you can ultimately improve?
I mean, the confidence is high. The confidence is high because like the body's only going to get healthier. There's going to be days that, you know, it's not going to be feeling amazing, but it's only going to get healthier with the right medication, with a good diet, with every day I get a little more knowledgeable of my health issues. So it just gives me a lot of confidence that my training, I think I'll get back eventually. It might not be it this year, but eventually I'm going to get back to being a very consistent, high volume person that I know I can be. And I was for a little bit. But right now it's, you know, I'm going to start the rest of the year is going to be focused on races like 30 to 35 minutes or less. And I think I still with, you know, my quality days are still really quality. For some reason, the body, like, once it knows, like, hey, we're going to go fast, like, we're good. But as soon as you get done running fast, it's like, I got to go to the bathroom. So that's really weird. So, like, my quality days are still really quality. And that's only, I think I can really help that out. Like, I'm going to do every stadium race for the next, for the end of the year. And I'm going to do all the DECAs. I think there's only 2 or 3 for the rest of the year.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just going to, I'm just going to attack that. I'll do a couple supers, but sprints, DECAs, and stadiums. And I'm going to be really happy with that. And I think I can get really good at that really fast again.
That's kind of in your lane anyway, even before this, right? Like,
yeah.
I think you were planning on doing stadium series if there was going to be a 2020 series anyway, weren't you?
Yeah, it's definitely my wheelhouse, but there's always part of me, like, I want to show that I can compete against people at a national series race.
Yeah.
And, I still want to do a full season. I haven't been able to. So that's still going to happen eventually, but this is my wheelhouse. Those stadium, sprint, DECA fit, that's going to be my wheelhouse. It's where I can excel at the most.
That's interesting. So the intensity piece you can still hold on to pretty well in training, but it's just like the volume of things. Is that simply a matter of the amount of time, like from what you can know? I know everything is just kind of like a learning curve right now, but is it like the amount of time that you're out doing something, or is it the amount of actual steps and like pounding that's happening that like will kind of be the ultimate limiter to how much you can do? Like, why do you think you can go fast but not go long?
Okay, you cut out a lot there.
Man, I'm just
gonna explain. Yeah,
that was a good question too.
Was it a great question? Okay, I think I got what you're saying there. Man, it's weird. I don't know what it is, because when I go out for my easy efforts, it's like, I don't know. I was like, I gotta stick by the house. Like, that's what I have to do, because you don't know when it's ever gonna hit. But then when I do my I do a warm up, and then I go out, let's just say like 10 by 2 minutes, that's still the same duration as I would be going out for an easy run, but I just don't have to use the bathroom. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like I get a little more adrenaline in me, and that's the reason why. I don't know what it is. I'm not complaining too much because I don't have to stop on quality days, but that's why I say it's hard for me to do. It's going to be hard for me to train for beats, because those long days of just being on your feet, running in the trails and elevation, like, my body just doesn't want to do it. It can do it, but it's like, it's embarrassing, and it's just weird,
I wonder if that has anything to do with like, go ahead, keep going.
I was just saying, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like I said, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Maybe I'll talk to him about it, but he doesn't know anything about running. But I don't know what it is. I don't know.
He's gonna be like, "Wait, you run still?" And you're like, "Yeah, I still run." Yeah. I wonder if it has something to do with just like where the blood is being delivered. When you go slower, like, blood can still kind of be in like your gut, but like when you're going so fast, everything's like shuttled away to go to like your extremities. But who knows? Maybe you just sprint everywhere. You just go like Forrest Gump style, just like hammer.
It's gonna be 6 quality days and 1 easy day a week.
And then just like write a book and be like, call it the Ryker method, like how I went from UC to DECA Fit champion. Maybe you'll have to write in a couple of years when you can be a DECA Fit champion.
A couple of years, I think who's the guy who trains pretty much at threshold every day? Jake, who's the Norway 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 15? Jacob. I
can't pronounce. Inger something, right?
Ingerbertson.
Yeah.
Like, I think,
does he hammer every day?
Every day he runs at threshold every day. Like, just guns it.
I remember when a guy who's more like my age, Chris Solinsky, that was his thing. He would like all of his easy runs would be like 5:30 pace, and it's like with the idea is like, oh yeah, I'll just make my hard pace feel easy, and then like he had some horrific overuse injury. I've never even heard of, like something like in his hamstring with like the bone and the muscle detached, like something. I was like, oh my God. So he had success for a little bit, but I guess if you're going to burn it down and go after it, he had the American record.
The American record in the 10K. Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing when he beat Galen Rupp. I remember where I was that day. I was about to run Broad Street. It was the night before that. I woke up and I was like, oh my God, Chris Linsky did this? Holy crap. But yeah, so I guess, hey, you got to like.
That's going to be me. I can't wait for my.
You got to live as a legend.
Tear away from my,
you got to go for it.
Tear away from my body.
Yeah, just do it. Who cares? Cool, man. So what is next? You're not doing West Virginia. Which I think
I was scheduled to go because I bought a flight. I was going to do the New Hampshire Spartan, but that's a super sprint weekend. But then after this past, which is in August 14th, that weekend, that was the Spartan race, New Hampshire,
and that was a Boston race that got moved.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. So I was going to do that, but then after, so I was going to do that, but after racing this Saturday, it's like, do I want to go all the way up there to like feel the same exact way as I do now?
Why did you decide to do that?
Only 2 weeks away. Because I want to go to New Hampshire. It seems cool.
It's lovely.
Yeah. Like I've never been to New England area, kind of. So, that's the only reason why I was like, I kind of want to race. So that seems like a destination place.
You want to see where Jack Bauer grew up?
But I don't want to. Exactly.
How Jack became the way that he is. You wanted to see all that?
Yeah, I did want to see that. But after like this, I was like, I don't really want to go all the way up there and just get kind of buried again because it'd be like a more hilly course and everything. But I'm going to be next race is the Nationals, Washington, D.C. National Stadium race.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be doing Decafit against you in New Jersey and then all the stadium races for the rest of the year.
Nice. Yeah, so that's September 11th and then the 18th.
Yeah.
We're going to be hanging out. We're going to have a real nice time that weekend.
Yeah. Hammer it.
We're just going to go. Let's just literally sprint. Let's see if we who can sprint the longest after every station.
Did you see in the men's 10K, the Australian runner, he just like died basically like on the track.
No, I didn't catch it.
Oh my God. He ran at Villanova. He was a national champion. He's the first person to beat Edward Cheserek in cross country. Pat,
what was his name?
Pat Tillerman or something like that.
We're doing a bad job with foreigners' names on this here podcast.
Yeah. Anyways, he had his nose in it. Final lap, and he's like in 5th or 7th place. Like he's in it. And then everybody finishes. I was like, what happened to him? And you just see him in the background of the camera. Every like 10 meters, he's like getting up and just falling down. Getting up and just falling down. And I went, oh my God. He ran so lactic that his body just
shut it down. Shut this thing down.
Yeah. He got so overheated in that. Like he finished the race, but like they said in an interview, like 180 meters ago, he was still there, but he fell then and he just kept falling and he finished like last place.
200 meters out. That's like an eternity to like, I've seen people be like that who are like wobbly, who like really can't control that, like their steps, like they end up kind of crawling. And hopefully they're like, if they're like 10 meters from the finish line, it takes them like a minute. So for him to go like 180 meters.
Long. Yeah.
Oh my God. I guess it's the Olympics. You gotta kind of finish. That happened. I was coaching cross country and this way back at a high school, and this happened to this high school kid, and he was probably about 100 meters from the finish. I had to pull him off the course because that was happening to him. And I was like, this guy's gonna freaking die. That's not a great scene. Yeah. He was like, well, like if he would have finished, the team probably would have won the district, but like he like, it was a whole thing. It was an upsetting time.
Oh my gosh!
But we're over it.
What a way to go out though.
I saw Ting Mu won 800. Did you catch any clips? I'm doing a terrible job of watching it. How are you watching?
I am too because I'm not. I'm not
either.
To play catch up every morning after my runs, basically.
I'm just watching. I'm just looking at results.
Night, you know, I got plans.
I'm doing shit too. Hey, we're out here doing shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like in the mornings when they do it, it's on Peacock. Like I don't have a cock, you know?
Isn't it free?
I don't think it is.
Wait, did you have that? Have you had that queued up? Are you telling everybody that joke?
Yeah.
yeah. people like it. Keep it coming.
Yeah. It's always gets a chuckle.
Solid. Can you believe there's a bird named a peacock? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I did see that. I saw the 5K. I'm not sure if that was a great showing by the women.
I don't know. Female American distance runners. I just saw somebody tweet like just gold medals or maybe medaling is only like 3 of them or 4 of them in like 800 meters and above. Yeah.
Yeah. With the thing, it was like, that was the first since like the 60s or something.
68. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah. So good for her. She's unbelievable to watch. She's
19,
crazy.
155.
19. Is that what she ran again?
Did you ever run a 155?
I have run a 155. I could be an Olympic champion.
I haven't.
I could be an Olympic champion. I could win the mile. I could 5K, probably not. But the 800 and 400, definitely not. They run under
400,
50, right?
You can't.
No.
Yeah, you can't 400, no.
But I would have been able to as an 800-meter runner. Not these days, though. She would probably outkick me, though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
All right, dude. I'll let you roll. Appreciate you being on here. Congrats on getting that race done. I'm pumped for you. I'm proud that you were able to get out there and do the thing.
Yeah, man.
And
I'm glad to be back. Yeah.
You're back in action. Looking forward to seeing what you do in the stadium and then Decafit, baby.
Decafit, September 18th.
All right, we're leaving.